All right, let's turn back to the White House and President Trump's decision to raise tariffs on steel and aluminum imports from 25 to 50%. CBS News Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes joins us now. Nancy, good to see you again. What's behind the president's decision to double his steel and aluminum tariffs? I think a lot of people are asking why now?
Right. Well, the White House says, Tom, that this is the president providing even more relief for steel workers in particular, and that encouraging the production of steel here in the U.S. will mean that those jobs will be saved and perhaps even more jobs will be created. But this has been cause for concern among many different industries, because what business owners are telling us is that if these tariffs on worldwide steel and aluminum that the U.S. imports a great deal of go to 50%, that will end up increasing the price, not just of steel and aluminum, these raw materials, but also the cost of everything that is made with steel and aluminum, even if, and especially if, it's produced here in the United States with raw materials from abroad that have now become much more expensive.
Yeah, that's an important point to make. Now, the White House says Wednesday was the deadline for countries to submit their best trade offers. Get us up to speed. Where do global trade talks currently stand?
Well, there are many talks going on with many different countries, and that's part of the challenge here. Typically, it can take months, if not years, to hammer out a comprehensive trade agreement with one country. And right now, you've got the administration trying to negotiate simultaneously with dozens of them, and trying to do it under a very tight deadline of July 9th, when the president's really draconian tariffs of 20, 30, even 40% on some countries are set to go back into effect, up from 10% worldwide. And so the White House has essentially sent this letter to all of its trading partners saying, send us your best offer now. Now is the time to complete these negotiations. And so it'll be interesting to see how various countries respond, because they're watching what's going on here in the United States. They've seen that there have been a variety of legal challenges to these tariffs. They realize that the tariffs still could get blocked or rolled back by a federal court. And so they may be reluctant to go all out and make big concessions to the United States over something that in the long run could be going away. So that is really complicating these negotiations after the administration initially claimed that there would be 90 deals in 90 days.
Yeah, a lot of global commerce riding on the line here. I want to change gears for a second to other news coming out of the White House. President Trump also says he spoke with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Wednesday. What can you tell us about that conversation?
Well, the president says that the conversation lasted about an hour and 15 minutes, and he said it was a good conversation, but not a conversation that is going to lead to peace anytime soon. In fact, he said that Putin told him very strongly, that's a quote from President Trump, that Putin will have to respond to the recent attacks by Ukraine on its jets and other infrastructure. President Trump didn't weigh in on whether that was a good thing for Putin and the Russians to do. He simply said it looks like it's going to happen. And all that is an indication, Tom, that things are not necessarily moving in the right direction when it comes to peace talks between these countries.
Lots of news coming out of Washington. Nancy Cordes, as always, we appreciate your insight. Thank you.